Write less than, greater than, or equal to in the blank to make a true statement. 3.5 compared to a negative 3. What sign should go in there? Greater than is right. That is the sign that goes in. Negative 2 compared with 1.5. What sign should go in there? Less than is right. Negative 1 and negative 2.9. What sign should go in there? Storms. Greater than is right. Negative 1 is greater than negative 2.9. Now in this case you have negative 8 times 5 compared to negative 15 plus a negative 25. What sign should go in there? Negative 8 times 5 is negative 40. And negative 15 plus a negative 25 is negative 40. Those are equivalent, so it's equal to. What about this one? Somebody else give me the answer to this one. Negative 15 plus 4 is negative 11. And then 6 times 0 times negative 3 is 0. That is less than. Common denominators. You must know how to do this. So we're going to do a refresher before we go into the next thing, which is comparing fractions. You need to be able to look at two numbers and figure out what is the lowest number that both go into. What is the lowest number that both 4 and 6 go into? What is it? Not 2, they have to be able to divide into, such as you're going to be doing it like this. 4, 8, 12, 16, 20, those are the multiples of 4. The multiples of 6 are 6, 12, 18, 24, 30. What's the lowest number that shows up in each of those lists? 12 is right, so 12 is the common denominator between 4 and 6. This one is 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21. Whoops, I'll put 21 in there. I ran out of room. And then for 8, we have 8, 16, 24, 32, 40. What's the lowest number that shows up in both of those? 24. Yeah, 24 is right. So 24 is the common denominator between those two. What about 12 and 6? We have 12, 24, 36, 48, and for 6 we have 6, 12, 18, 24, 30. What's the lowest number that shows up in both of them? 12 is right. So 12 would be the common denominator between 12 and 6. 8 and 6, this one goes to Maynard. The answer is 24. That is right. The next one is 3 and 5, and that goes to Mackenzie. This one is 15. 8 and 4, that goes to Porter. 8 is the common denominator. 3 and 7, this one goes to Ramey. 21 is the common denominator. 12 and 16, that one goes to Roberts. 48 is the right answer. That's the lowest number that both 12 and 16 will go into. 9 and 6, this one goes to Sampson. 18 is the right answer. Storms, 11 and 5. 55 is the common denominator. 12 and 18 goes to Sweeney. 36 is the right answer. For 9 and 12, what would be the common denominator for 9 and 12? Open to anybody. $36. What about 3 and 8? $24. What about 10 and 12? 60 is the right answer. 8 and 10. 40 is the right answer. Now, if I have to compare two fractions and they have different denominators, I must find a common denominator. What is the common denominator between 4 and 5? 20 is right, so I'll change the denominator to 20 in each case. What am I multiplying 4 by to get 20? I'm multiplying by 5. So what is 3 times 5? 15. Don't forget, this is negative. Negative. So it has to be negative 15 over 20. On this side over here, what do I multiply 5 by to get a 20? 4. What's 3 times 4? 12. So a negative 15 over 20 or 12 over 20? Which one is greater? 12 over 20, right. So the 3/5 would have been greater, so the mouth opens up to it. Also, what you could have done is looked at the signs. If this one's negative and this one's positive, there's really no need to change the denominators. The positive one has to be greater. Now, these are both positive. So, 10 and 5, what's the common denominator? 20 is right. So we'll go 20 and 20. What do I multiply 10 by to get 20? 2. So what's 7 times 2? 14. What do I multiply 5 by to get 20? 4. So what's 3 times 4? Which one is the larger fraction? 14 over 20. So the mouth opens this way. That means 7/10 is greater than 3/5. It is possible to use a denominator of 10 in this case. You could use 20, you could use 30, 40, 50, you could even use 100. The lowest one makes it easier, but it does not have to be the lowest one. Alright, here's some practice. Bring me the inequality sign or the equal sign on a piece of paper. Make sure your last name is written clearly at the top, like this. So I'll know which way your paper is facing, and you put the inequality sign in there, whichever it may be. As long as your name's at the top, I'll know how to look at your paper. Otherwise, you can just flip it if it's an inequality sign and just turn it around. The common denominator is 45. That means I multiply 5 by 9. 1 times 9 is 9. 9 times 5 is 45. 1 times 5 is 5. 9 is greater than 5. So the sign should be greater than. The common denominator in this case is 12. I have to multiply 4 by 3 to get 12. 3 times 3 is 9. 3 times 4 is 12, so 2 times 4 is 8. 9 is greater than 8, so it should be greater than. Write the numbers in each set from least to greatest. Okay. First of all, if you see anything in here that's negative, if you have 3 fractions and one of them is negative, you already know what to put first. So then you only concentrate on the other 2 fractions. But in this case, they're all positive. We need a common denominator for 3, 2, and 5. What is the lowest number that 3, 2, and 5 will go into, Wallace? 5 will not divide into 6 evenly. You can do the multiples of 2, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 14, 16. Multiples of 3 are 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21. And for 5, it's 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Do we have a number that appears in all 3 lines so far? No, so it looks like we have to continue these on a little bit. So we'll go 18, 20, 22, 24. This would be 24, 27, 30, 33, and this is 35, 40, 45, 50. Is there a number that shows up in all three of those so far? Nope. Okay, well I have to keep going then. We'll go 26, 28, 30. Is there a number now that shows up in all three? It is 30, yes. It shows up here, here, and here. So we need to do this problem with a common denominator of 30. So we'll go here, here, and here. Okay, what am I multiplying 3 by to get 30? 10. So 2 times 10 is 20. What do I multiply 2 by to get 30? 15. So what's 1 times 15? 15. 5 times what is 30? 6. And 6 times 4 is what? 24. Okay. Now you have to remember what fraction pertains to which, and they're still in order of the problem so far. But which fraction in here is the lowest? Which of these fractions, whoops, I need my pointer. Which of these fractions is the lowest? 15 over 30. And what fraction does that pertain to? Where did it come from? The 1/2. So the 1/2 is what I write first. We've used that one and that one. Now what's the next highest one after 15? 20. So that is the 2/3. So we write 2/3. And then of course the last one is 4/5. You want to write the original fractions in order from least to greatest. The common denominator is going to be 6, 6, and then 6. And we're multiplying by 2 here, so we get a 10. We're multiplying by 1 there, so we get a 7, and by 3 here, so we get a 3. This means that the lowest one is this one, the 1/2. So it goes first. The next highest is the 7. So 7 over 6, and then the last one is 5 over 3.